And the inner-tube dashboard looks like this. And now I'm going to show you how the dashboard works. This is the scary part. Okay, so here you can see the Personal Informatics dashboard, and as the different visualizations are stacked on top of each other. Here they can compare the different types of information together, so they can see how the different how they related to each other. And then if they want to see a detail about a particular point in time, here this person has highlighted this time, but here this person might be curious about what happened during that time when this person was active. And here, the person can see that it was sunny during that time, and this person can see what their location was. If they were probably walking. In this particular case, they were in the strip. So here they can see detail, and also they can compare between different visualizations. So I did a field study of InnoTube. I had 15 participants recruited via Craigslist, and before the study, they were not tracking their physical activity. And then for a week, I had them collect data. They automatically collected their data using their step counts using Fitbit. They also carry the GPS device to track their location, and we also track weather information of where they live. And also, they manually collected mood, amount of sleep, busyness, energy level, who they're with, and any notes that they might want to write. But the manual collected information was only done once a day. They did this during the end of the day. So they returned to the lab, and they used InnoTube while thinking aloud. And I asked them to describe to me what they were looking for, what they were finding, and what problems they encountered. And they answered questionnaires at the end of the study about InnoTube. So 13 of the 15 participants agreed that InnoTube was useful, and one of the participants said, it allowed me to factor in location, times, and activity in order for me to assess where I may be able to increase my physical activity. And this other person said, seeing the temperatures of the times I went on my runs and knowing how well I did on them would allow me to determine the best condition for me to run in. And here's a longer quote. It gave me concrete context in space and time by which I could measure and evaluate my physical activity. Interacting with that data gave me the opportunity to hypothesize about what factors influence my physical activity, what specifically motivated me or discouraged me from exercise. And lastly, there was this person who changed their mind after using InnoTube. This person said, I thought certain widgets where they can see different factors were less useful before I used the Personal Informatics dashboard. And then I changed my mind after using it because their usefulness became apparent to me. So there's some future work that can be done with InnoTube. For example, improve the usability of the InnoTube dashboard, and also to make the InnoTube API available to developers, and this is coming soon. And also to create a directory of InnoTube widgets so people can find widgets easily. So just to summarize, I described visualization integration, which is an easier way to approach building Personal Informatics dashboards. And I implemented InnoTube as an example of visualization integration. And so just to conclude, I created a model to guide the designs of Personal Informatics systems. I showed evidence that contextual information can reveal factors that affect behavior. And I explored what kinds of visualization support Personal Informatics systems should provide. And also I developed an easier way to build Personal Informatics dashboards to help users associate different kinds of data in a single interface. And now that I've done this work and also built InnoTube, I think resolving the problems with collection and reflection, we can deploy longer field studies to explore what the effect of these these systems on behavior change. And also we can conduct studies in other behavior domains. I think besides applying it to physical activity, I think this could be valuable to improving sleep or managing your diabetes. And also we can explore how to convert awareness of factors to changes in behavior, which is the action stage, the last stage in the model of personal informatics. And thank you.
All right, thanks, Ian. We'll start out with questions from the committee, and John will start with you.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit more when you had the suite of visualizations that you got started with in it? You had a good handle on what people wanted from the business. How did you then go about choosing how a look matched to those things?
Oh, well, in this particular case, what I focused on was how the visualizations work, how the visualizations work. So in this particular case, they wanted to be able to see the information over a long period of time, so I used timelines to do that. They wanted to see goals, so I had goal lines on the visualization. And then they wanted to see details. So in the personal informatics dashboard, what I tried to do was allow them to select a particular time and then see how that particular time maybe matches with the other kinds of information. And then for the factors kind of question where the information is stacked, I made sure that for the personal informatics dashboard, people can pull in different kinds of widgets and stack them on top of each other. So in this particular case, the user has to kind of, for the factors, the user has to kind of look at both visualizations at the same time.
Did you think about, so you went to a design that's ultimately kind of distributed and having kind of different visualizations doing different things, as opposed to say, something integrated that has, the map with the things on top and everything.
Right. So, yes, so I think there's some limitations with the dashboard. You can't do, for example, like an overlay on top of the map. But the problem, the reason why I went for a distributed way of doing this is that right now the way people are doing personal informatics dashboard limits the way in which they can pull in different pieces of data. So what I mean here is that if you look at the way personal informatics dashboards are supported right now, they have limited numbers of data sources that they support. And the reason for this is that because of all the different things that they have to do in order to get the data all together into one place. But since a person might be interested in their physical activity or sleep and any different kind of data, and there are different tools that they can use for these different kinds of data, not all of the information that they're collecting could be supported. So, but I think with this distributed approach, then people can kind of pick and choose what they want to look at. So it's kind of there's some limitations to it, but now they can integrate a lot of data together.
And then so in your API for the dashboard, I saw you were able to pick kind of one of the days there, and then I can see on the map, how deep is that information kind of going back? Like what can I select in a view to then see the context in another view? Is it just kind of a day when it's occurring, or what? I want to know a little more about the API.
Oh, so the way the dashboard works is when I click on a time, it talks to the widget, sends a message to the dashboard saying that this particular time has been selected. And then the dashboard communicates with all the other widgets and say, this person has selected this particular point in time. Can you show me that particular time under your visualization? So there might be cases when the widget can't show it because it's not in the right, the right time frame. But then in that particular case, then the user has to kind of go to the appropriate time frame, and then, or it could be done automatically where once the widget receives the information, the message, what data was selected, then try to show what that visualization is.
So I guess it can't, what if there's a new view in the dashboard that has a, you know, a totally different, it's representing a different kind of information, right? You get into
Right.
this issue of, are we speaking the same language, and
So in this particular case, you notice that all the information that the person provides has time associated with it. So I think that's the thread that attaches them to each other. That the person is interested in information that is based on time. And so if a person is a particular point in time on the visuals, then that could be matched with the other widgets because they're all tied together by time. So in this particular case, you can probably do a pie chart which is not time based. So you can't do categories. But the person would not be interested in that because they're interested in more, well, what happened during this particular time?
do you think that authoring the views in kind of your framework akin to like, you know, doing sidebar widgets or something like that, is it about that level of difficulty, or?
You mean to build the?
Yeah, I've got a great idea for a new view that I want to put into everybody's dashboard. How involved is that going to be?
So I guess it would depend on what kind of feature you're trying to add. So if you want to add just a way for the person to select their time, that's already supported by the dashboard. Now, if you want to do, I don't know what feature were you thinking
Well,
of?
is there a, could you see it grow? Will people take it upon themselves, or will it be primarily the system authors who are going to be?
Oh,
providing-
do I think that I'm the only one who's going to be building widgets for this? No, I think there's people who are trying to do this right now. I think the way they're doing it, the data integration part is hard. So I think I'm providing them a way to make it easy for them. So, and also, as I noted before, they only have to create one widget, right? And that widget can already interact with all the other widgets, which I think which adds value to the widget that they built. And by playing along, there's added benefit for them. There's added benefit for the users, which then benefits, I guess, the creator of the widget.
So I'll just ask two questions. So one of them is, how do you support, I know you're trying to support reflection. How do you support meaningful reflection? And so by that I mean, we are very good as humans at finding kind of patterns when there are none. Or we're very good at kind of thinking there's causation, or revert when it's actually reversed, right? So there's this parable of the ancient king who discovers that whenever there's disease, there are all these doctors, and so to stop the disease, he kills all the doctors, right? And so how would you support kind of more meaningful reflection by people who are seeing kind of all of these patterns over time, and who may be trying to discover real relationships between factors or causality between factors?
So that's a great question. So I think right now the current state of the art is that, well, there's no current state of the art because people have to remember the data, the different relationships in their data. So I'd say now, since I'm adding this way for them to see their data together, it can help them reflect on their data. But yes, you're right that we're not helping them kind of distinguish between correlation or causation, but I think that can be studied furthermore. Now that we have a personalized dashboard, we can kind of figure out, well, how can they make sense of this information now that it's all together in a dashboard. So I think I'm enabling a way for us to explore these other kinds of